Hey everybody, this is Robert People of RobertPeople.com, and you're listening to People's Court. Thank you for tuning in. Today is Thursday, December 19th, 2019, and I'm normally here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so my apologies for missing yesterday. So I'll give you a show today and then another one tomorrow to get back on track. So this morning, of course, want to talk about this. We're close to the new year, right? So one thing a lot of people are doing, of course, most of us are looking to improve things, to fix things, to, work on so much before the new year, right? However, a lot of people, one part a lot of people bring up is removing certain people from their lives, those toxic individuals. And that's always good. That's always good. People want to start new. You want to get rid of toxic, fake, all this and that. Got it. But my question to you is simply this. In your efforts to get rid of toxic individuals, are you sure you're not one of them? And when I say that, it's because this is not, and this is not anything new. This is not something unusual that many of us don't already know and see. But it's so easy. Isn't it easy for so many people to point out what's wrong in everybody else but ourselves? And I don't want, and I want to say this in the beginning. I don't want it. Please do not share this if you're thinking about someone else. Because if you're forcing this to apply to someone else and you're not looking at yourself first, you've totally missed the point. And you're going to miss the point. This is about you. As I talk, this is about me. But when you listen to this, I want you to hear what I'm saying. We want everyone to change, but when it's time for you to change, time for us to change, self-reflection, we're a whole lot more patient with ourselves, aren't we? You see other people and you want them to change instantly. The ones you have the least control of, you want to change right away. But the one you have the most control over, yourself, you're a little slower with that. You can point out what's wrong with everyone else, right? You can point out what's wrong with everyone else, and change is supposed to be instant. But when it's you, the response is something like, oh, I'm a work in progress. Oh, be patient with me. What else do we say? I'm working on myself. And that don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with working on ourselves. And yes, we're works in progress. Those are not inaccurate. But why don't we give the same courtesy to others? If you're a work in progress, right? Why can't someone else be? And no one is toxic, yet everybody is toxic, right? Nobody is toxic, but everybody is toxic. Because the ones you're saying is toxic, they're saying they're not. And chances are they're saying someone else is, or they're saying you are. And it's just a nasty, vicious cycle. And in all this, very few people look at themselves and really evaluate. Now, again, don't answer. I'm not looking for a quick answer to say, yeah, I work on myself every day. Cool. That's great. You work on yourself every day. Does anything happen? A lot of people go to work but don't work. So, yeah, you work on yourself every day, but what's happening? What's changing? What's improving? And again, if you are quick to snap and say how much, or I'm working on myself every day, you're missing the point. This is not to point out flaws in everyone else. This is for us to make sure, hey, look, are we the toxic ones? Are you the toxic one? Are you the toxic person who needs to be rid of? I'm not talking about jump off a cliff or commit suicide, anything crazy like that. I'm talking about that toxicity, getting rid of that. That part of you is what I'm talking about getting rid of. But we do this all the time. And it's interesting, all this talk from adults. I'm not talking about, teenage kids and fake friends and all that. With all these adults, I hear adults talk all the time about fake friends and all that. If you're an adult, if you're anywhere near the age of 30, and you haven't figured out what a quote unquote fake friend is, that's a problem. If you are still keeping fake friends around for whatever reason, that is a problem. There shouldn't, just in my opinion, it's there's always people who are going to be, fake, per se, meaning they hang around, they treat you as though they're your friends, but they're really not. There's always going to be people around like that. But when you're talking about them, every year I'm going to get rid of fake friends. I'm getting rid of toxic people and all this. And not only at the end of the year, but, several times throughout the year saying the same thing. The question is, why are you constantly around people like that? Why are you constantly associating yourself with people you know are toxic? And when I say that, I look at social media, because social media, we keep people around on social media all the time, don't we? People we know don't care about us. People we know are sitting and just watching and ready for drama to pop off. We always keep people like that, and we're all guilty of it. Same here. Okay, and remember, this is not about me pointing out everything you do. I'm talking about myself here as well. We do that. And sometimes it's harmless, but other times it drags us down. We keep folks around who totally drag us down. And we can't do that. We can't keep doing it. We can't keep doing that. But then we have to look at ourselves and say, why are we doing that? Is there something about that that's attractive? Are we attracted to keeping people like that around for some reason? If it is, then you got to look at yourself. You have to ask yourself why. I get it. No one wants to believe you. You don't want to believe you're the toxic person or you're a toxic person. So it's better to just point out flaws in everyone else. It's better to just say, hey, there's something wrong with you. You need to fix yourself. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm a work in progress. Chill. I'll get around to it when I do. That's just how I am. I've always been like this. That's the excuse you give yourself. But other people aren't allowed to use that, right? Something irritates you about them, they got to change. They got to change right now, instantly, because you said so. There has to be something different has to happen. If you're constantly having to get rid of toxic people, why are you constantly letting toxic people into your life? And are you sure you aren't the problem? Now, that doesn't mean you are. This this message here is not to is not to say, hey, you all are a problem and you need to look. What I'm saying is, take a look at yourself thoroughly. Don't answer in 5 minutes. Thoroughly look at yourself. Take some time. Take the rest of the year. I mean, where everybody's taking off the rest of the year until New Year's, right? Nobody's doing, so many people are holding off and waiting until the New Year to do everything. Use this time to say, let me look at myself deep. Really take some time. Let me stop worrying about everyone else's drama, wasting time on that, and let me look at myself on a deep level. Let me stop making excuses to continue what I'm doing that's harmful to people, that's toxic to people. If I need to apologize to someone, let me just do it. Minus excuses. Minus the, well, yeah, I'm sorry, but you know what? You didn't. Forget all that. If I'm going to give myself all the patience in the world to change and get around and change it when I'm ready to it, then give others the same patience. If you're going to be nasty to other people about them changing, be as nasty with yourself. And before anyone comes on to say, well, you know what, I'm harder on myself than everyone else. Okay, cool, got it. What are you doing about it? Is it helping? Is it working? Because again, you can come and you can say all the right things, but if it's not if it's not leading to any change or any sense of progress, it doesn't matter what you're saying or doing. We can give the hard truth to everyone, but we give the easy truth to ourselves. Or lies. So many people out there, it gets laughable to hear so many people talk about keeping it real and keeping it 100 and telling the truth and brutal, honest truth, and it's never, it very seldom, I'm sorry, it's not never, it's very seldom do those people say it about or to themselves. People boast about how much, well, if you don't want the honest truth, don't talk to me because I'll give you the honest truth. Please, give yourself the honest truth about yourself. Brutal honesty. If you're so quick to give brutal honesty to others, give the brutal honesty to yourself as well. Don't sugarcoat it for yourself. I don't sugarcoat nothing. Okay, when you talk to yourself, make sure you don't sugarcoat that as well. I can't stand fake friends. Okay, look in the mirror, make sure you're not being fake as well. And again, don't rush and grab this and share it and be like, hey, everybody, because you think I'm talking, because you want this to apply to other people. Because again, you're missing the point if you do that. I'm talking about you listening to this now. Look at yourself. Respond with as though this is about you. This went completely over your head if you share or if you tell someone and all that, and you think about, this person over here needs to listen to this, because it's like you're not getting it. I'm talking about you listening to it now. Don't get me wrong. By all means, share all day, every day you can. But the point is to get you to look at yourself. The point is to get me to look at myself. We're always kinder with ourselves about changing than we are to other people. And working on ourselves. But if you have to, but if you're constantly, every couple months, every couple weeks, you got to get rid of fake friends and all this and that, why are you letting them in? Are you sure you're not the one? You may say, well, how do you figure that out? Easy. With the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you can't stand certain behavior in other people, make sure you're not exhibiting that same behavior. It sounds simple, right? But so few people live by that. People run around all day treating others certain ways and then lose their minds when someone treats them the same way. Lose their minds completely. And sometimes hearing people fuss about it, it's like, well, yeah, I know they're treating you like that and it's kind of wrong, but that's, you know what, you do that too, you don't always want to do that, and you want to come away from that. And I tend to be like that sometimes too. See, I can even speak on myself with this. And it's like, no, I don't need to come back with what someone else does, because if I don't like it happening to me, or if I know it's something that's not okay, I need to just call it what it is. The same way I'll call it like it is with someone else, I need to call it like it is in myself. Not make excuses. But we do that all the time. People lying and know that's what you know that's what you're doing. You're lying to yourself, but you want everybody else to tell the truth about themselves. No, be as truthful with yourself as you want to be with everyone else. And social media is really giving a platform for that, haven't they? People can run around and tell strangers all the time how to change everything about themselves, but won't talk to themselves and change, what they need to do. And I'll wrap up by saying this. This doesn't mean that if you're mature enough to be able to identify yourself as a toxic person, this does not mean you are stuck. This does not mean this is who you are destined to be. This is my entire point. That's my entire point. This message is not about if you're toxic, go crawl in a hole somewhere and just die. No, this is to say if you can identify in yourself, then you can work on it in yourself. We can work on anything. Toxic isn't who you are. It might be what you do. It might be in your behavior. It might be certain things that come out, but it's not who you are. You can change that. You can work on that. The question is, do you want to? Are you as willing to work on it in yourself as you are in telling other people to do that? But you can get there. We live in a society who points the finger all the time, loves to see people struggling, loves to see people have a hard time. Why? Because then that means if I can make fun and laugh at you struggle, that means you don't have to see what my struggles look like. That's nothing new. Misery loves company. You want to see everybody struggle that way. They don't have to see the struggle that happens with you. But if you're someone who knows deep down that, hey, I need to change, I need to work on this, don't fret. At least you can do that much. And in doing that much, go ahead and work on change. Find out what you need to do. I have more respect for people who can say, you know what, I effed up and I need to fix it. I need to fix myself. Not that passive aggressive, I'm going to stay away from stupid people. Guess what? You need to sit down somewhere if that's what you're saying, because you still don't get it. Because again, you're still putting it on them. You're still putting it on other people rather than looking at yourself. It doesn't matter how stupid everyone else acts. If you can't look at yourself, that makes no difference. But really, look at yourself. Take a deep, hard look at yourself. What do I need to change? What do I need to fix in me? What do I need to work on? How do I get better? And maybe, just maybe, those same people that you want to keep addressing and talking to and pointing out, they just might take your example. They might follow your example and change for themselves. This is Robert People of RobertPeople.com. I will be back tomorrow again. Tune in here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I have another message for you, but I will be back tomorrow. Hope this reached someone. But I'll be back tomorrow. Have a wonderful Thursday.